My name is Ashley Smith, and I am presenting to you The Sinking of Eastland, America's Forgotten Tragedy. Eastland is an account of a tragedy witnessed live by more than 500,000 people. It says 10,000 there, but that is an error. It was estimated 500,000 bystanders witnessed the accounts of this disaster. What is Eastland? So it's a forgotten tragedy that happened on the Chicago River, and it's slated as a horrendous disaster that killed more than 800 passengers and crewmen. The Western Electric Company hired Eastland to do a one-day excursion with family and workers of Eastland. They were scheduled, the boat, family, and friends, workers of Eastland were slated to leave at 7:30 a.m. for a day-long adventure on the water. Eastland was one of the 5 boats scheduled, but the only one to sink. Considered the largest loss of life from a single shipwreck on the Great Lakes prior to the Louisiana and the Titanic. Still, Eastland was slated as one of the deadliest incidents in United States history. Prior to the Louisiana was an event of World War I. We lost hundreds of lives due to the hands of Germans. The Titanic, which happened 3 years prior to Eastland, was a Voyager, which lost 800 plus lives again by capsizing. Still, neither equated to the catastrophes of Eastland. What made this sinking topple the rest of any type of horrendous accident? This accident was witnessed live, again by the correction that I made, by more than 500,000 people. Those people saw the ship as it was boarded, saw the ship as it was loaded, and saw the ship as it was toppled, and attempted to save the lives of the men and women and children that they saw on the boat when it capsized. Appointed to leave again at 7:30, Eastland had already garnered a mass capacity, selling 7,000 tickets. Capacity for this boat was over 2,500. At 7:10, they began boarding. Due to capacity and engineering, the boat topsided right at 7:28. So they began loading at 7:10. By 7:28, the boat was toppled. After earlier problems, years of earlier problems, the ship underwent upgrades and rebuilds to bring it up to competition and up to standard. The ballast tanks were blamed, as well as the theories of too many lifeboats attached, and too many people on the boat. But courts prosecuted the steamship company, the president, and several other officers, stating that conditions of instability caused by the overloading of passengers, mishandling of the water ballasts, and improper construction of the ship were the reasons of catastrophe. Pulled from the river and then renamed the Williamette and converted into a naval base, all lawsuits were eventually thrown out, and the exact cause of the toppling, like a true exact definite cause, was never determined, unfortunately. Blame was pinned on the owners and staff of Eastland, but no one again was ever prosecuted. Fault was solely concluded on poor design poor design in rendering Eastland top heavy. Though lawsuits were thrown out, civil suits ensued for the 800 dead. But again, those did not benefit they wouldn't have, but they did not benefit anyone civilly. And according to maritime law, it was only valued at $46,000 of damage. This was a frustrating read. there were more pros than cons. This book gave me a thorough evaluation of what happened after, what happened before. I was never hearing of Eastland before. I was able to draw a very defined picture of what this incident was, what happened, the possibles of why it happened. This unfortunate event is one that we can put in our books and case studies for destructions that shouldn't have possibly happened. This was not a natural disaster. This was a man-made disaster.